we are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard, one second. We heard how there was a question. How is it that Shukadev Goswami, he was already realized in Brahman and had no material affinity? How was it that he, after that, took the trouble to study this vast literature, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM? Then Sutta Goswami replied, because even Atmaramas, those who are satisfied in their own self, they also become attracted to the transcendental qualities of Krishna. They are not material, they are transcendental. Our Gurudev explained that in this world, because we all conditioned souls, we have false egos. So we are trying to enjoy Maya and also fighting amongst ourselves for dominance and all these things we are fighting. So in this world, you will find waves of suffering because of reaction to enjoyment. There is mixed happiness and it is temporary, and also reaction. So in this world, you will find waves of suffering. But like Buddhists, they want to renounce their worldly desires and attachments and lose their individual material identity, because they understand that is giving us suffering as a reaction. So they merge into Biraja river. Biraja river is, or causal ocean, is in between spiritual world and material world. In this world, three gunas are active. By Rajoguna, creation is going on. By Satya, maintenance, and by Tamoguna, destruction. It is all the time changing. But in Biraja means Biraja. There is no Rajaguna. So there is no creation. It is in tranquil state, that Prakriti state. So they attain that platform, and for them, that is the highest happiness. They think now we released ourselves from suffering, so there is no more suffering. So that state of tranquility for them is highest happiness. But from the point of view of our real self, which is transcendental, spiritual, even this being merged in Prakriti, not having any material individuality, only you are going with the flow, how it is going, no attachment, no separate desire, that. But from the standpoint of soul, which is Satchit Ananda, even being merged in Prakriti is also one kind of suffering. Though it is true that there are no waves of suffering, because there is no creation, no activity, no nothing, just like deep sleep, slumber. So for them, that is state of no suffering, nirvana. Why? Because there is no waves of suffering, but they are not informed of eternal reality, so they think that is the highest. But actually, above Biraja is first, there Vaikuntha starts, but first there is a Jyoti, means light, transcendental light coming from Vaikuntha. That is impersonal spiritual plane. There you will not find any spiritual variegatedness, variety. Though it exists, but you are not experiencing it. It is never that like there is no Krishna and the jivas are all same and like there is oneness. No. But in Brahma Jyoti you don't feel, because that is not full realization. So that is why Shankaracharya, he could convert Buddhists in India when they spread all over India. Then Shankaracharya came and he was preaching about Brahma Nirvana, means to merge yourself into this Brahma Jyoti, and the Vedic literatures are evidence for this. Buddhists, they don't accept Vedic literature. They accept only reasoning, not scripture, and what they realize through that meditation. But Shankaracharya, he said, no, Vedas are correct, and there is a cause that is Brahman, and we are that Brahman. So he converted many Buddhists. So that plane of Brahmananda or Atmaramata also you may say, because that bliss of Brahman or bliss of Paramatma, they are almost the same. Gyanis, they merge into Brahma Jyoti. Yogis into Paramatma. And both they are Atmaramas. They are feeling transcendental bliss, spiritual bliss. They are not only released from waves of suffering of this world, they are above even Prakriti, that material energy, Biraja. But there, this Brahma Jyoti and Paramatma, there are no waves of Ananda, no waves of bliss, because there is no Lila, there is no variegatedness, there is no Lila. But it is true, you don't have any gross or subtle suffering, and there is a bliss, and that is eternal bliss without ending, because there is no time. You are above time. So there is constant bliss, and you are one, but there are no waves of Ananda, of bliss. But the four Kumaras and Shukadev Goswami, they show this, and even Vyasadeva, we also heard Vyasadeva also Bodhavan, even one who is established in Atmaramata, means experiencing bliss of one's transcendental self, they also become attracted to Premananda or Sevananda, the bliss of serving Supreme Lord or bliss of loving Supreme Lord. For Kumaras, they were meditating on Brahma Jyoti, and one time the fragrance from the lotus leaf offered to the lotus feet of Narayan, of Tulsi leaf, somehow reached their nose. Although they were absorbed in that Brahma Jyoti, they had no external awareness of this world or anything, but that is superior type of transcendence. Tulsi, Narayan, Seva. So that entered into their nostrils, and their meditation broke on Brahman, and they became attracted. Oh, what is this? They cannot be attracted to anything material. They are already beyond. But why this attracted? They were very attracted. Then they accepted the lotus feet of Narayan. Narayan is Supreme Lord, is eternal reality. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Mayavadis, they say all temporary, this thing, but it is not true. In Upanishad, you will find Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. He is one eternal among many eternals, and one conscious being among many conscious beings. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam jo vidadati kaman. And this one is fulfilling the desires of those many. Many means many souls. We are also eternal Atma. And we are unique, we are different from each other. But there is only one Supreme Lord. Tat Eva Brahma. Brahma is one, supreme, infinite. If there would be anything outside infinite, then infinite will lose his infinite position. Absolute will lose his infinite. Everything is only him. But he has energies, so jivas, we are energies, non-different from him, but also different. So he's fulfilling the desires. So they accepted the service of Narayan and they got higher bliss. Like that Shukadev Goswami also. He was born Brahmagyani. He had no any attraction to this world, nothing. But when he ran into the forest, then after Vyasadeva wrote Bhagavatam, then he wanted that his son should learn this Bhagavatam for out of compassion. The pure devotees, they have compassion to all jivas. So he knew about his son, that he's somewhere in the forest. So he ordered some woodcutters, you recite this verse from Bhagavatam wherever you will cut. So they went and someone's reciting that verse that came into the ear of Shukadeva Goswami. And he also became attracted. What is this? What is this sound? From where? Then he asked that person, from where you got? They said, we got from your father. He wants you to come back and he will teach you this. Then Shukadeva Goswami came back and heard Bhagavatam, and he was fully absorbed then in Krishna Lila. That is why later we will hear when Parikshit Maharaj came there, then sages, they would advise him, you are king, you give in charity, then you will be rescued. Then another said, no, there is no time. Only 7 days he has. Better he should do yagya, sacrifice. Then another sage said, no, there is no time. He should do meditation by Jnana Yoga. Then another said, no, there is no time to study all Upanishad, all this and think. No time. He should do yoga. Yoga practice, then immediately asana, prana, then immediately meditation, then he can be rescued. So Parikshit Maharaj was confused what I should do now. They are all sadhus, they are all sannyasis, they are experienced, and they are giving different advice what I should do. And if I will accept the advice of one, then others will be displeased with me. I will commit offense. So what I have to do now, I am confused. Then he remembered, I am born in Panda family, so they are very dear to Krishna. So let me take shelter of Krishna, who also protected me when I was in the womb. So he took shelter of Krishna. Krishna, you please guide me, what I have to do. And because he was sincere in turning himself to Krishna, taking his shelter, immediately Krishna sent Shukadeva Goswami, bona fide guru, his own person. Then Shukadeva Goswami came and all those sages stood up out of respect, feeling the influence of Shukadeva Goswami. Then Shukadeva Goswami said, Parikshit Maharaj, you need not do anything. I am Shukadeva Goswami. I was established in Brahmananda, or that Atmaramata, not practitioner. I was not striving to get that. I had that. But I was attracted to Krishna Lila. So you need not do anything. Only you have to hear about Krishna. His Lila, everything you have to hear for 7 days. No need to do anything else. You will get highest eternal welfare you will get. And Shukadeva Goswami said no one there could refute him. No one could say anything against this. Because that is highest. And Shukadeva Goswami realized, here we heard this verse, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasadeva, was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Now, the topic is starting. Parikito tharajar sher janma karma vilapanam samstam chapandu putranam vakshe Krishna katho doyam. Sutta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Shri Krishna and topics of the birth, activities and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst kings, as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu, Pandavas. So that is bliss, but no waves of bliss. That is why Vyasadeva was not satisfied. Narad asked him, why you are still unsatisfied, though you realized Brahman? He hinted to that, because Jiva, her eternal nature, her eternal position is that she is eternal servant of Krishna. She has eternal relationship with Krishna. Unless that is fulfilled, we cannot be fulfilled happy without that. Even in Brahmajyoti, merged, although there is no material suffering. So those who don't accept the service of Krishna, those Gyanis, yogis who don't accept, after some time again they try to search for happiness in this world in some relationships. Because we have eternal relation with Krishna, so unless that is fulfilled, we will try to search here. So they will not try to exploit as before, but they will try to have some loving, compassionate relationships, like this altruism at the hospitals and all this. It is not Rajasic and Tamasic, Sattvic, but it is still on material plane, and they are searching because they cannot remain without relationship. But if someone accepts his actual identity in relation to Krishna and serves Krishna, then only he is actually liberated for all time and fully happy. Otherwise it is not possible. So this is shown by these examples. So now Sutta Goswami will describe about how this Bhagavatam actually manifested. It is related to King Parikshit. Yada mridhe kaurava srinjayanam vireshvato viragatim gateshu vrikodaravidha gadabhimarsha bagnoru dande dhritarashtra putre bhartuh priyam Draunir itisma pashyan Krishna sutanam swapatam shiramsi upaharat vipriyam eva tasya jugupsitam karma vigarha yanti. When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations. And when the son of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasen, the son of Dronacharya, who is Ashwatthama, beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered them as a prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhan, however, disapproved of the heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. That is there. When those warriors died, then their wives, they were lamenting very much. But Vyasadeva, by his mystical power, he gave them that vision where they are now. He showed their souls. Because soul is eternal. And here it is their deserved destinations. So because they were lamenting so much, Vyasadeva showed them where they are. Then they stopped lamenting, seeing that they are still existing. Like one mother, her son goes to some other country to study or to work. As long as she's not seeing him directly by eyes, but as long as she knows that he is there, she will have no worry. But if there is no news, then she will be worried. But if you know he's there, okay, I'm not seeing, but there, then no worry. Like that, Vyasadeva showed them their husbands. Or Narad Goswami called that son of Chitraketu back, the soul of that he called back, and that son was speaking. Then Chitraketu Maharaj lost that separation, grief or attachment and all this. Or Mahaprabhu also showed. So soul is eternal. That is why Krishna told those who know the real self, the souls, he will not lament by death. Wise persons do not lament. It is like changing cloth and like this. You know, in Gita, it is there. But it is, of course, not enough just to like hear about this. You have to get a realization. Then you will not lament. Otherwise, we will lament. And also we will be afraid and attached to our own body. But one who has knowledge, he will not be. Like our Gurudev told that example, if when we were doing parikrama of holy places in South India and in North India, that time we rented one whole train because many devotees, so we rented some, I don't know how many those wagons and the driver and everything, and they were like 1 month doing parikrama and going in train and sleeping there, taking bath, everything in train and eating. So Gurudev said we were very carefully cleaning that and taking care of that, and also fixing if there was some problem with electricity, fans and the bathroom. So we were taking care for 1 month. But after when we reached back in Calcutta, then even sometime before we reached the train station, we already were waiting at the door with our all luggage. Then immediately when train will stop, we will go out. He said, why? Because we had this knowledge, this is not our train. We took it and we used and then we'll go out. This is railway That company is train. It is not mine, so no attachment. So you can easily go down. Like that Guru said, those who realize the souls, they know I am not this body. And this body is not mine. It is material energy of Krishna. It is his. And other persons, they are also not mine. She's not my wife, my child, my father. They know, no, they are all souls. They all belong to Krishna. They see them in this relation. And this material body is temporary, is composed of material energy of Krishna. So they have all this knowledge. So although they are moving in this world, living in this world, doing everything, but with the knowledge. So they have no suffering at the time of death. If we have knowledge. But knowledge here means realized knowledge, not only theoretical. So then there is no suffering, and one who knows that I am a soul, I belong to Krishna, that does not mean that he will not do anything for this material body. No, he will do everything, but with knowledge. And relations and everything he will do in this world, but with knowledge. That is why he will not suffer, and that is why he will use properly and also can live peacefully. Live means L-I-V-E, live, and also live as L-E-A-V-E. Leave means you will leave that behind. Both, without problem. So we have to realize this. So here, they do everything, but in relation to Krishna. And they use everything for him. So they are not inactive in this world. And at the same time, they are not wrongly active in this world for their own enjoyment. No, they are doing for Krishna everything. That is why they have no problem and they are happy. Those who are enjoyers, they are sometimes temporarily happy and then suffering. Those who are jnanis, they want to renounce everything. They have no enjoyment, but no suffering also. But devotees, they have no suffering and they have fulfillment, eternal happiness, even while in this world, if they are fully engaged in the service of Krishna. So here, this is very heinous crime, to kill someone while sleeping, especially for Kshatriyas. This is below dignity. Kshatriyas, even Vritasur, he was a demon, but when he saw that those were running away for their life, he did not kill them. And when he struck Indra, Indra fell down without weapon, then Vritasur did not attack him at that time. In those days, Kshatriyas, it was below their dignity that they would do something like that. That there is enemy and he's without weapon and he's in the weak position. So I will fight with him at that time and kill him. That was not dignified position. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, the more you are cheating in all possible ways, just to kill and to exploit and all this, they're doing all these things. Even demons, they had no such how to say, degraded mentality, those Kshatriyas. They would fight fair way. Let him take weapons and we'll fight. Why will kill him when he's weak? What is the glory in this? That is below dignity for Kshatriya. So here also, he beheaded 5 sleeping sons of. Then Duryodhana also was not happy with that. Draupadi. Draupadi is the wife of 5 Pandavas. Mata Shishunam Nidhanam Sutanam Nishamya Ghoram Paritapyamana Ta Da Rudat Vashpa Kala Kulakshi Tam Santvayan Aha Kiri Tamali. Draupadi, the mother of the 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the massacre of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her and her great loss, trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her thus. Tada shucha ste pramrijami bhadre yad brahma bando shira ata taina gandiva mukter vishikher upahare tvakramya yat snasya si dagda putra. O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana, after beheading him with arrows from my Gandiva bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head. Arjuna told. Iti priyam valgu vichitra jalpe sa santva yitvachuta mitra suta anva dravat damshita ugradhanva kapi dvajo guru putram rathena. Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend, means Krishna is his friend, and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashwatthama, the son of his martial teacher, Dronacharya. Because Kshatriyas, it is their duty to do. Even yesterday in Croatia program, I was speaking about Dhruva Maharaj. One topic was that. So Dhruva Maharaj also, he was already pure devotee. When getting Narayan, he had no any other desire. After getting darshan of Narayan, then Narayan said, yes, but I'm giving you that kingdom. You will rule that kingdom, but you will not forget me. Then after, you will attain me in Dhruva Loka. So Dhruva was a king, and his mother, stepmother, Suruchi, she committed offense to Dhruva, and therefore when she was in the forest, she died by some animal or something, snake bite or something. Then her son Uttam went, and he was killed in ambush by yakshas. They were many and he was one, so it was unfair fighting for Kshatriyas. So it was Dhruva's duty as a king to fight with them. Although he was a pure devotee, he has no any other desire. Then why he is engaged in killing? The thing is because he was a Kshatriya. It is his duty. Like Ambarish Maharaj, he was also pure devotee, but he was managing this whole world as a king also. So it is not that pure devotee cannot be or is not active in this world. He is, but for Krishna. So Dhruva also was killing. And all those who were killed in the hand by the hand of Dhruva, they got higher destinations, like when Arjuna was doing. So this was a heinous crime. So it is his duty to protect, to Kshatriya's duty is to control the miscreants, to protect the citizens. So that is qualified violence, which is actually good for all involved. But if someone is only seeing outside, then he will say, oh, this is violence, this or this. No. You already learned about this from Bhagavad Gita. Tam apa tantam savilakshya durat kumara hodvigna mana rathena paradravat prana paripsur urvyam yavad gaman rudra bhayat yatha kah. Ashwathama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken, just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva. Here in commentary, according to the reading matter, either Kah or Arkah, there are two references in the Puranas. Kah means Brahma, who once became allured by his daughter and began to follow her, which infuriated Shiva, who attacked Brahma with his trident. Brahmaji fled in fear of his life. This is one lila. Also, the sons of Marichi, they abused Brahma, seeing this. But because of that, they got curse. And they had to be born as demons, first as sons of Kalnemi Maharaj. And he was under Hiranyakashipu, Kalnemi. Then he had affection for them and he engaged them in some tapasya without taking permission of Hiranyakashipu. That was indiscipline. So Hiranyakashipu cursed him, you will kill your own sons. So in next life, he became Kamsa, and the sons, they became sons of Devaki, brothers of Krishna. So you know, in Janmashtami we are hearing, then Kamsa ultimately killed those 6 sons, thinking they will kill him, but they were actually his own sons. So our Gurudev explained, what is this relay? All these non-eternal material relationships are like this. Then what? In one life he's having affection, so much so that he's ready to flout the order, disobey the order of his king, who is very tyrannical, out of affection. But in next life, he's killing his own sons, mercilessly, brutally, throwing them on the ground, on a rock, small baby. And then when Devaki requested Krishna after, you please bring back my sons, I could not give them breast milk yet. So Krishna brought, in short I'm saying, because this is not the topic now, they brought and they were drinking the milk of Devaki, which was prasad now, because that milk was drunk by Krishna himself. So that is prasad. Prasad will destroy all sins if you take prasad. So they got liberated from that curse, And they were going away from Devaki. Then Devaki said, no, no, where you are going? You are my sons, you are my sons, where you are going? Then they said, no, we are not your sons. Although they were born from her. But they said, no, we are not your sons. We are the sons of Marichi. We committed offense to Brahma when he was running after daughter. Why? To show us, conditioned souls, how much this lust is dangerous. It can catch you, and there are even in incest, all these things. So lust is very powerful. To show this to conditioned souls, and he showed this lila, but they understood and they offended him, so he cursed. And then they went away back to Marichi. So who is whose son? Who is whose father? Who is who? These all non-eternal relations based on the body in this life, but after that everything is finished. And no parents, they are producing their child. That Atma was already existing before, and that Atma has her own karma. She's bringing that karma to this life. No parents produced any other. They think he's my child. No, we are all Jatavai Mani Bhutani Jayante. We are all coming from Krishna, Atmas, and with karma. So that is why Dhruva, next time maybe I can explain more details. When Narad Goswami came to king, who was crying so much for Dhruva because he left the forest, so king was thinking, oh, my son died because of my negligence. So then Narad said, no, he's all right. He's protected by Supreme Lord. And you cannot protect him. Even if he is staying in your lap, no father can protect his son from death if his time comes. Because it is his karma, no father can change the karma of his child. So even staying in your lap, if his time came for giving up, you cannot protect him. The only protector and maintainer is Krishna. We may be instrumental, but it is because of that karma, of that will of Krishna. It will look outside, yes, he protected life, but it is not always happening. So that is not reliable protection. Reliable protection is only by Supreme Lord. And maintenance. Parents, they are not maintaining their children. Outside it looks like that, but it is not like that. Unless Krishna gives, no one can give. If Krishna does not give, no one can give. But we are not seeing with these material eyes like that how this is all happening. So here, in one life, they are getting affection. In another life, they are being killed by the same person. Even in same life, you can see like that. As long as children, they will fulfill the material desires of parents, there will be affection. But if there will be against, then they will also become violent. Sometimes they kill their own children. Sometimes children, they kill their own parents. Like this. Because everything is based on self-interest, not on actual love. Everyone with false ego or conditioned souls, we all have self-interest. When that is fulfilled, we are loving, so-called love. It is not actual love, it is lust only. So with everyone, then when that is not fulfilled, then that is broken and hate comes. Before it was love, then hate. Same, another face of the coin, same coin. Self-interest. So, and Devaki also, she's a realized soul, but she was playing this pastime to give us teaching. No, you are my sons, you are my sons. Where you are going? They say, no, we are not your sons. And when Chitraketu Maharaja's son died, then when Narad brought him back, then Narad asked him, why you are going away from your parents? You don't see how much they are crying for you? Then that Jiva, that son, who was called back to life, he said, oh Narad, which parents do you mean? I had many parents. From which birth my parents you mean? They're crying. That is the reality. So we have to realize the reality, then we will come out from suffering and get actual bliss. Otherwise, trying to fulfill our material desires somehow or other, that can never fulfill us. It is impossible. So another is, as far as Arka is concerned, there is a reference in Baman Puran. There was a demon by the name Vidyunmali, who was gifted with a glowing golden airplane which traveled to the back of the sun, and night disappeared because of the glowing effulgence of this plane. Thus the sun god became angry, and with his virulent rays he melted the plane. This enraged Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then attacked the sun god, who fled away and at last fell down at Kashi, Varanasi, and the place became famous as Lolarka. So both it is possible. This is only example that Ashwatthama was running away like Brahma in fear of, or this sun god in fear of Shiva, as an example. Our Gurudev also told, here we hear the airplane. How? Airplane was invented with like 1915 or something. How? What kind of airplane? The point is, all that science was already there, and it is there even now. But the demigods and they depends, because our Gurudev told, when Ambarish Maharaj, that was in Satyuga, when Ambarish Maharaj was ruling, he was the actual owner of the whole world, ruler. Whole world consisting of 7 islands, that is 7 continents. Then Gurudev asked how he could manage whole world. Nowadays, he said, we are having these emails and these things, system for communication. When our Gurudev was remaining in this planet, that time emails they became. That time there was no WhatsApp and this thing. Now WhatsApp is there and so many things. So Gurudev said emails. He said, but how in that time, how Ambarish Maharaj could rule whole world? He said some system was there also. Because in this world, science, it is sometimes appearing and sometimes disappearing. Some scientific like inventions, they're appearing and also disappearing. And demigods also, they're having their own like this. So it is not always same, and it must be chronological order, like always better. No. It is according to situation that it can appear and disappear. So Guru said at that time also some system was there. So what we know by these material senses and by our knowledge of history. Like Vyasadeva in Samadhi, they are seeing many things. He saw in future what will happen in Kali Yuga, what is there. So this is not fictitious that they had aeroplanes. And now also they have demigods and all that they're having, and system of communication by telepathy or by some other scientific things is there, but we don't see. That is or disappeared. Like when I was small, that we had that cassette for sound, for music. Now that is gone. You don't, new children, they don't know what is cassette. They know what is CD or MP3, all these things. They don't know what is that. But we saw. So like that, it is appearing and disappearing. So that, so tomorrow we will further hear what happened.